welcome you, Mo, the founder and the CEO of the Brain company. And it's very exciting to have you on the platform. And for my team as well as the audiences listening to us, Mo is quite young in the generation of the medical devices, definitely, but he sounds very promising. And to start with, Mo, how you landed in the field of neurosciences, and especially in a sector called medical devices? Yeah.
Yeah, so I was very interested in neurotechnology by the time I got to 17, 18 years old. I was sitting at a local coffee shop, and there was this
Okay.
professor that was sitting there that always used to read things about neurotech. So I used to have so many conversations with him over many months and years that I got to really understand the depths of the field. Um,
Mm,
by the time I was 20 years old, I was at
mm,
the Ohio State University. I was studying neuroscience and physics.
yeah.
And at that point in time, I came across some papers around non-invasive deep brain stimulation. And I realized the essence of that work can be really translated to so many different diseases that I decided to spend a lot of my time carrying that technology out. So yeah, I was very interested in neuroscience and physics, physics especially my whole life.
Yeah.
Neuroscience and consciousness studies
Yeah.
around 18 years old. So that's how I came into the field. I mean, I read those
Okay.
papers. I
And
was really inspired, and then I, started the company. Well, more importantly, I started building these devices,
mhm,
and then started investigating them.
mm, yeah. And can you just go through the journey of the company of the Brain company, a brief journey of this company?
Yeah. So I started this company uh, at 20 in my dorm. Well, I was reading those papers, and I started it at the Ohio State University. Went to some networking events in the Columbus community in Ohio, and got
Yeah.
connected to other healthcare executives, other medical device experts, and they guided
Mm,
me and advised me on how to translate the technology and go through regulations and have specific manufacturing standards. And so I started working
yeah.
with them a bit further. That was year one.
Mm,
I met a nice doctor, Dr. Sam Kozin, who
mm,
engineered the first device. He engineered the first device. And
okay.
we started finally using the devices
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. And they were great. We were super happy. We were super enlightened. The devices worked great on us. That
Mm-hmm.
we decided, to kind of expand the team a bit further. When COVID came around 2020, COVID came last year.
Yeah,
We,
that was definitely tough challenge. Yeah.
yeah, but since we were all remote at the time, we
Mm,
were okay with it. We were fine and okay with it.
okay.
COVID came. We started hiring some undergraduates, so individuals uh, at Ohio State and UPenn, and then we started kind of expanding the marketing over there. Started working with some veterans, starting working with multiple sclerosis patients, and
Mm-hmm.
then started investigating with dementia and Alzheimer's.
Okay,
And
okay,
today,
okay. Sorry to pause you, but you said that you started working on MS, the multiple sclerosis. So, what type of multiple sclerosis it was actually? It was a remitting type or progressive or what? What kind
progressive
of? Because
primary. So it was progressive primary, and then there was
okay,
three progressive primary clients that we started studying. However, the
okay,
underlying pathology for all MS is very
mm,
similar.
okay,
We looked at the general pathological issues for these diseases and made hypotheses on how we can actually affect the physiology of all these brains, regardless
mm,
of defining it very specifically with a singular disease.
okay. And can you just make us more clear that what are all the devices and how many number of devices your company is now working on?
We have two main devices, but we're focusing on one. And this is
Hmm.
actually the device right here.
Hmm.
So it's a new transcranial stimulator. So it's a
Hmm.
new neuromodulation device that better excites, that help better induces voltage gradients inside the brain
Okay. Okay.
than
And
traditional stimulation
yeah,
method.
yeah. So to be short, that you said that you have primarily two devices currently, and you're focusing on the one.
Yes,
That's it.
correct.
Yeah. And how did you conceptualize about this device, especially about this
Oh yeah,
uh,
that's
transcranial non-invasive method? Yeah.
that's funny. So I was
Because
sitting.
yeah, because yeah. Go on.
I was sitting at Chipotle one day. So I was sitting at this burrito cafe here in the United States, and I looked up on a vent on a wall. So it was a vent on the ceiling actually, and there was these
Mm-hmm.
X and Y gridded lines on the vent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I imagined that vent wrapped around somebody's brain. Then I imagine running electricity in the vent like a dynamic river, like a wild river. And
Okay.
so you can really create complex electromagnetic fields from guiding it where it's heading onto the dense vent. So that's actually how I conceived of it. I conceived it while I was eating a burrito. Um,
Mm-hmm.
at Chipotle one day, I realized, I mean, if we can really control the geometry of these electric fields, we can really guide
Mm-hmm.
them. We can have a lot of potential in helping people.
Yeah, it's great to conceptualize you at such a small age, but I will definitely say the US based medtech devices are quite encouraging and the innovators are quite young as well.
Oh
What do you
yeah,
say?
and,
In US,
yeah, and
yeah,
that's super
US there is a
exciting.
great case for the medtech. Yeah,
Yeah, it's super exciting to see young individuals in the field
yeah,
who help change the world.
yeah, definitely. So, who are in the team developing this all this, be it the scientists or the physicians or the biomedical engineers? Can you throw some light on your team members?
Yeah, so we have Dr. Jeffrey Spitzner, Dr. Sam Kozin,
Mm-hmm.
um, Dr. Nasir Kashu,
Okay,
um, Dr. Clifford Saunders, uh,
okay.
Nicholas Nissen. So these are some
Okay.
electrical engineers, some biomedical engineers, and then we have some undergraduate students coming from UPenn
Mm-hmm.
and the Ohio State
Okay.
University helping as well.
Okay. So you have primarily physicians with you as well as biomedical engineers. That's it.
So we have FDA regulatory experts, we have doctors, we have researchers, we have engineers, we have neuroscientists,
Mm-hmm.
and economists, individuals on the finance field.
Financial advisor as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess also you have somebody from India as well, Dr. Milind. He's a neurosurgeon, I
Dr.
guess. He's
Melinda
also
Gunker. So
on your
Dr.
team.
Melinda Gunker is a DBS neurosurgeon. Yeah, he's advising the
Mm-hmm.
company. He was at West Virginia University in Ohio, but I think he's at India right
Mm-hmm.
now. I'll have to check up with him.
Okay. Great that you have a great team, of course. And can you just tell about the treatment cost of one cycle of your device you have made? Multiple treatment cycles are required, but for one cycle, how much the treatment cost in dollars?
That's a great question. So the device will cost around $100 to 200. So that's where the cost of the device will be. Now,
Okay.
the pulses that we're sending into the device, so the actual waveforms inside the device, that will be continually personalized in the future with device
Mm-hmm.
use, with patients using it. So we'll continually update the waveforms for the patients, and that will
Okay.
cost
To
around
make it
five to
okay.
$10 every month.
Mm-hmm. So, to make it simpler for our audience, what you're saying is that once the patient purchases the device, then it can be customized as per the requirement of the patient. For example, the device is just like a television set or a laptop, and later on, depending whether you require a gaming laptop or you require a work from home laptop, just like that, on depending upon the needs, the device can be upgraded or have more customized features. That's what
Sure,
you want to convey?
sure. So when people are using the device, uh,
Mm-hmm.
there are points where they would, if somebody's using the device for treatment versus
Mm-hmm.
somebody's using the device for just overall focus or brain plasticity, the
Mm-hmm.
pulses can be updated to further enhance those treatments or those optimizations. So the
Okay.
pulses can be updated to help advance the treatment.
Okay. And will the company will be providing any kind of warranty or kind of guarantee with the device?
No, so we're in the investigational stages right now. So we're not providing any sort of claims or anything
Mm-hmm.
right now.
No,
Uh,
no, no, no. I'm saying down the line, down the line. No, no. You got my point wrong. I'm saying down the line when your device is in a commercialized phase and it's out in the market, then whether your device will be having a guarantee over it in terms that if the device is broken or it's
sure, sure.
malfunctioning, then
Yeah,
your
yeah.
company will
We'll
be
help out. Yeah, that's no problem. Yeah, if the device
okay.
breaks, we can help replace it. We'll make the
Okay.
device
Okay.
very strong though, so it doesn't reach that point.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what mainly required. And how do you feel that whether this device will act only independently or it will also need adjunct role of senior medical physicians as well?
No, it's a very simple device. It's a very simple
Hmm.
device. It's just one button.
Okay. Okay.
There has to be a phase where we look at uh, medical history of the patient that the device is being prescribed to see if they have any sort of seizure or skin condition history, or any
Mm-hmm.
other neuromodulation treatments or any other implants inside their body.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very simple device. It's portable. It's at home.
Okay. And at what stage of FDA approval your device is now currently?
It's just in investigational stages. We're collecting more data in the following
Okay.
year prior to
Okay.
getting it through the FDA.
Okay. And so when are you expecting to get the approval of the FDA? And when are the commercial launches can be expected? How much, how many years more?
Hopefully 2 years.
For commercialization or for FDA approval?
So once we have FDA approval, then we can sell it.
No, no, that's great. But so you are saying that 2 years down the line we can expect an approval from the FDA. That's it.
I think around 2 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Maybe a little
mm-hmm.
bit less, but we'll just see depending upon how the things are growing.
The results of the yeah. So currently, how many investigational the sample size of investigations? How many patients you have examined?
I think we've examined 45 individuals.
Okay, and from what all morbidities and comorbidities?
Yeah, so we've investigated a variety of endpoints, including dementia, traumatic brain injury, mood
Mm-hmm,
disorders,
hmm.
and multiple sclerosis.
Okay,
We've also
so to
investigated this in healthy individuals, seeing the device for overall brain enhancement.
So how many more sample size you are expecting before applying for the approval? Currently, you said that you have 45 investigational studies completed, and so what are you targeting for more sample size? How many more numbers?
Yeah, that's a great question. It actually depends what the FDA is looking for. The bigger the sample size, the better. Our goal is not
Mm-hmm,
to necessarily increase the sample size, but increase the quality of the data, increase
mm-hmm,
see actual markers inside the brain of physiological change.
mm-hmm.
So it could be from 30 patients to maybe 100 more, but that's something that's malleable and something we'll be able to figure out over the following years.
Okay.
Even after we have
So
FDA approval,
to
even after we go through the FDA, we're
yeah.
still going to be running more studies.
That's what happened in the sector of medical devices. The phase 4 trial goes on after the approval as well. That's a good thing to follow up. And what are your future plans with this device making company called the Brain Company? I'm very fascinated to know more about what are your future aspirants.
The future aspirations. There's a lot of future
Yeah.
aspirations. We're very excited about taking this technology and helping every single human on the planet. This is a technology for the brain, and not necessarily a
Mm-hmm.
technology for a disease. Uh, a lot of people could benefit from
Yeah,
this technology,
definitely.
whether or not they are
Mm-hmm.
suffering or they are healthy. So our future aspiration is to have an
Mm-hmm.
over-the-counter product, but that's after we develop the medical device
Mm-hmm.
first.
Okay. So for the benefit of our audience and my team members at my organization, can you give a demo session of this device, and you can brief the parts of this devices?
Yeah, sure. So this is the device I showed. So like I said, it's actually a very simple device, and the electrodes go on dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, and then this is
Mm-hmm.
it. And then you wear for 20 minutes.
Okay, and where from the energy source means it has got a plugging source or battery inside it. What's like that?
There's a battery, a
Battery,
battery.
and it needs to be charged for how many? Yeah, yeah. For how many time?
Yeah,
It's a
final device.
rechargeable battery or a?
So our final device will have better specifications. It will be chargeable.
Okay.
It will be more colorful.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's just you need to
Okay.
plug it in.
Yeah, it's a prototype. Yeah, I can get it.
Yeah.
But can you just make it flip it? Yeah, you can just take it down from your head. And for the benefit of our listeners, can you just show the inside part of it? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Great to see. So it is having a lot of electrodes inside it. The electrodes are over a whole circumference, Mo?
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm asking the electrodes are throughout the circumference of the band or at specific areas of the dorsofrontal cortex.
Yeah, we're targeting dorsolateral prefrontal cortex.
Okay, so you're targeting only that. So for the benefit of our listeners, so you said that depending upon the customization the patient needs, whether he's needing it for focusing, for mindfulness, or he's a patient of traumatic brain injury or mood disorders. So depending upon, I guess, upon the physician's requirements, you will be customizing upon the areas where you should be targeting, and there where the electrodes will be fixed, I guess.
The electrodes are going to be generally fixed in the beginning around dorsolateral prefrontal cortex areas. Uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, the customization comes from the personal protocol for them. Maybe for someone who needs it for focus, they need it for 10 minutes twice a day, versus someone with traumatic brain injury, they need a larger dosage in
Mhm.
the morning for 20 minutes. So there's a
Mhm.
protocol flexibility in accordance to the endpoint.
Yeah, definitely. So for all the listeners, the device Mo is working upon, it's very beneficial. Keeping in mind the cost, it cost roughly $100 to $200, as Mo mentioned, and Mo is saying that he will be providing guarantee in case it breaks down. So you can, and it will be a very strong device, I guess. And also it is portable and easy to use, non-invasive, and also he's working on the safety. So 2 years down the line, we can expect a great device coming from this beautiful company. And what are your competitors working upon? Because in medical device sector the competitors are also working on things like this. So how are you looking at them?
Yeah, so we don't really look at them as competitors. We look at them as teammates, because if we know another company comes out with a device that helps with Alzheimer's patients, Alzheimer's disease, then we get very excited because maybe the patient can use their device first and then our device second, and then they can do a little bit of both throughout to have a better treatment. So we don't really have competitors. We have teammates who are excited to work with these companies. Um, there's many different types of technologies. Transcranial magnetic stimulation is one of the biggest products out there already, where they help stimulate the brain, but with
Hmm.
large magnetic fields. So
Hmm.
it's interesting technology. It's definitely interesting technology. We're excited to see
Yeah,
something that's
definitely.
more portable at home that could be used in conjunction with TMS.
Hmm. Definitely. Uh, so to brief it, the technology the Mo is working upon, it is based on temporal interference, in which he will be using simultaneous multiple high frequency electric fields, as well as there will be electrodes placed around the skull in the band he was telling us, and you all have been through. And also, I guess he will be using intersectoral short pulses. So
No,
what about?
so our technology isn't we're not doing those technologies. Those technologies come from MIT and NYU, but we were inspired by those two technologies. But we've developed our own protocol.
Okay, okay. And how are you taking care about skin rashes, skin pain, and if something happens in the scalp area, there may be happening. Somebody might get a scalp burn. Various kind of
Yeah, that's a
patients are
great
there.
question.
Yeah.
So we can help with controlling of the pulse where it ramps up and down, so it's not an intense uh, turn
Mm-hmm.
on the skin, as well as we can customize the electrode array so it's more softer on
Mm-hmm.
specific skin types. That's something we're going to investigate in the future. So far, we've had uh, nothing profound in terms of intense skin pains. If it occurred that somebody said that it was an intense pain or intense skin pain, uh, we recommended, icing the area beforehand, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe lowering the current level in the beginning so your skin gets adapted to it. There's many ways to circumvent that problem.
Okay. And any of the investigational findings regarding headache post using this kind of device? Headache or problem in the visual fields, in the vision?
So
Anything
phosphines
regarding?
so something called phosphines
Mm-hmm.
uh, do arise from the device usage when it's on. So you can actually see the pulse coming from the device itself.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but we haven't had any sort of we haven't had a comment on headaches. No.
Okay, okay. Great to know that. And how are you pursuing that in the medical devices sector, especially in the Western region, be it the US or the UK? How the medical technology device companies are working in this COVID times? A general overview for the benefit of the audiences.
Yeah, so we've always been remote anyway. So even before COVID, we were remote. So when COVID came, we were prepared. I mean, we were, business as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do a lot of the engineering myself here in my bedroom. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the work just comes from, this one room.
Yeah, it
Uh,
will be great if you can show you us a tour of your workstation.
yeah, here. So this is, do you guys see this?
Yeah.
So it's just these little boxes here. So yeah, all the equipment is in here. These are uh, uh, simple to create devices, but it just takes some time to create them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how are you planning to enroll more volunteers for the investigational studies? How are you planning to get them?
Work with more doctors, work with more researchers, both domestically and internationally. We are
Mm-hmm.
uh, looking to start some collaboration with some very prominent researchers out in Iran, doing some
Mm-hmm.
more fMRI studies, as well
Okay.
as being able to raise funding from
Mm-hmm.
uh, crowdfunding sources to be able
Mm-hmm.
to get this device out there more publicly.
Okay. So you are prominently in the field of neurosciences, but how do you perceive the other fields of medical technology devices, be it various implants used in the joints or various stents devices used in the various heart surgeries? How you perceive their industry?
They're great industries. They're all great industries. And definitely the FDA does a great job in making sure that good devices are coming out to the market.
Yeah.
Um, what is very interesting to see are non coming out. very
Yeah, definitely.
photobiomodulation, transcranial stimulation, cranial
Hmm.
electrical therapy. I love seeing non-invasive things. I love seeing anything non-invasive. Uh,
Yeah.
One thing that's very important that I feel that needs to be more integrated into the field of medicine is preventable medicine. So
Yeah,
uh,
definitely.
being able to be able to lead with health first in mind rather than treatment or mitigation. Uh,
Hmm.
you know, I think the future of medicine will revolve around optimizing and elevating health
Hmm.
rather than treating diseases.
Yeah. We both are quite young in this perspective, but how do you look that if a second pandemic comes during our life, will this kind of medical devices in the future, can we prepare for them? I
So
hope we don't face them.
what's so exciting is that now that we've had the first experience of a pandemic, we can very easily set up and translate how to help a second pandemic if it comes in our lifetimes. Uh, we definitely have a change of mindset in setting up specific infrastructures to be able
Hmm.
to prevent the second pandemics coming in. The one thing that is for certain in the second pandemic is that people are now going to take higher precautions on their sense of health and well-being, such that any sort of incoming impeding virus that comes in that affects the immune system like COVID can
Yeah.
be mitigated
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
a person's high health scores.
Hmm.
So uh, if hopefully we don't see another pandemic in our lifetimes, there's a lot that happened with this pandemic, both medically from the medical sector, a political sector, and economic sector. So we'll all be on our toes and ready to pounce to solve the next pandemic if it comes.
Yeah, definitely. I hope the vaccines are also useful. And when are you expecting to get the shot?
Me,
You
uh,
yourself.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Whenever they're more readily available here, because I know they're
Yeah.
giving it to healthcare workers first, and then
Yeah.
elderly
Yeah.
clinics.
Definitely.
So when
Yeah.
they're available here, then
Okay.
I'll get
And
it.
okay. Okay. Before we wrap up this edition, what do you say that how is US working to build future medtech innovators? Because personally, I feel that in 2000 they started with various fellowships and programs, be it in the field of biomedical engineering and everything.
So the future is very interesting. The future is very
Hmm.
interesting, and like I
No, no. Can
said,
you
there
just
needs to be
no,
a
no.
shift in
Yeah,
mindset
yeah.
with
Mm-hmm.
anything medical. Medical needs to be now towards enhancing health versus treating diseases. When you treat
No, no.
diseases, there's so many things to think
Yeah,
about. When you
yeah.
want to
Sorry to
enhance
interrupt. Yeah,
health,
sorry.
it's one thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I was asking about the medtech innovators which are professionally trained, be it in the Stanford or the UCL or at various universities. You have running fellowships, be it the various biomedical engineers or the physicians or people from different backgrounds are joining them. So, how do you think various curriculums being developed in and around this medtech industry?
Um, that's an interesting question. Innovation can come from various sources. I mean, it could be just coming from sitting one day and eating Chipotle and seeing a vent on the wall.
Yeah.
So I think the United States and other countries as well do a great job in educating students on how to uh, come up with ideas in the biomedical field. I mean, the biomedical classrooms at Ohio State University were very rigorous. Um, I think classes and schools in the future are going to be more revolved around translating work rather than and more hands-on experiences rather than online learning or just reading from a presentation.
Definitely. So it was great to have you, Mo. I hope we can collaborate in future. I'm also an aspiring medtech innovator as well as a neurophysician. So it was great to have you on the show. See you,
Yeah,
brother.
nice seeing you again as well.
Okay. Okay. Namaste from India.
Namaste. Yeah, namaste
Namaste.
here from the US. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you so much from the
Okay.
whole team. Thank you.
Thank you.